Okay, this is a 99 to 2000 Civic hatchback, often known as the EK hatchback. This came with a factory single cam and an automatic transmission. This is getting an engine swap in favor of something much more powerful and a lot more fun. And of course, we're going to convert the car from automatic to manual transmission. That means everything gets changed, the shifter, obviously the pedal assembly. He is going to supply a 5-speed dash so we can remove that. So the big pedal gets removed in favor of the 3 fun pedals, the clutch, brake, and accelerator. So we're going to change those stops in there. They're the stops that usually dry rot and fall out and will cause the brake light to stay on. The rack is getting converted from a power steering rack to a manual rack. We basically take it apart, rebuild it, clean it, re-grease it, change the seals, and it converts it to a manual rack without any of the extra lines. So the engine mounts we're going to use are the Hasport EKK1s, and these are the 60 urethane. These are the softer mounts. So plus we're going to change and put a S2000 clutch master cylinder in there so that it's a little bit cleaner. The engine is a prepped K20a one that we went through, rebuilt, did some work to it, made sure it was nice and fresh, replaced all the parts that would usually wear out. Of course, you know, rings, bearings, the whole 9. So the engine mounts get installed. Everything is all about cleanliness and making it look like it's supposed to fit, which is where the radiator comes in. To make the radiator lines come where we want them, we basically rebuild it to our spec, and then the inlet and outlet and cap can be exactly where we want them. We're doing Gator Axles. These are designed for this swap, a little bit stronger axles than stock, and of course brand new rebuilt with all new parts to freshen it up further. So now the radiator goes in, and we can verify our radiator hoses go exactly where we want them. So we're going to use a Skunk 2 swap header on this, really good header. They fit with lots of ground clearance and make good power. And then of course, new gasket, a Honda OEM gasket, so that we don't have any problems with leaking, and it fits absolutely perfect. Next thing we're going to do is a high flow catalytic converter. This is a MagnaFlow cat, and it is carb legal, so it keeps everything nice and clean and keeps everybody happy. So this is going to be installed with a factory flange so it fits onto the header correctly in the right spot, so it operates exactly the way it did on the car originally. Flange is TIG welded on, and then from there we can build the exhaust that the cat can be removed if need be for service, or if the header needs to be removed. So the header fits, the radiator fits, the hoses fit. Next we're going to change the fuel rail, so we opt for a Skunk 2 fuel rail. The exhaust is full stainless. We offer 2 types. We offer stainless or titanium. We no longer offer aluminum. So this is the 70mm throttle body. This is a high flow throttle body, and it fits the Skunk 2 manifold, and it gives us a little bit more airflow, and it's a nice piece. So the power steering isn't on this engine, so we put the idle pulley and of course put a brand new belt on there. The belt is a specific size. So the exhaust, the way we're doing it, we used a MagnaFlow resonator and muffler with a turn down. The EK doesn't have a direct cutout for the tip, so on these we like to do a nice turn down to make them look clean, and it kind of disappears. So this car is getting air conditioning. So this is a piece we made to hold the factory condenser and bolt back in the car, so it's as close to stock as possible. The engine wiring harness gets changed to the K20. We do change it and reroute it to run the wiring harness in a different position, make it a little bit cleaner. And of course we got to do fuel lines. We need to run a return system, so that's why we change the lines on the Skunk 2 rail. These are going to be dash 6 in and out. These are plenty of horsepower. It's a naturally aspirated car, but in the future, if it ever gets boosted, it's always good to be prepared now, a little bit more capacity than needed. So this required spacers that didn't come with the rail or the manifold. The good news is we know how to fabricate little things like this. So we get an exact measurement, we use some chromoly, we cut it to the right size and clean it up there, and then we can install it in the fuel rail with some brand new Allen bolts. The injectors we're using are S2000 injectors. These have a higher fuel capacity. As you see there, they fit nice, and they're good for about 270 horsepower worth of fuel if need be. Now, of course, to set the fuel pressure, we're going to go ahead and put one of the Red Horse fuel gauges on there. Makes it a little bit easier to set the fuel pressure regulator up. And of course, monitor it in the future just in case you need to check these things. Of course, a brand new wideband sensor goes in there. And we clean up the engine bay, any loose debris. And of course, clean up the floor from all the pieces of wire and harness that gets changed. So of course, custom AC lines so we can run the air conditioning and make sure everything fits and clears and operates just the way it should, with some brand new spark plugs, and we're ready to fire it up.
Got the thermometer fuel pressure set.
So fuel pressure is good, engine oil is good, transmission fluid is good.
Yep.
We've got fluid in here. Alright.
We've already checked for codes. There's no codes, right?
No.
Alright.
I just cycled the keys up. No codes.
No, it's not charging.
12 volts. Okay, so that was the blue with the white.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was going to be there or not, but it's not charging.
Okay, so this one's done. 216 horsepower, and this was a pretty hot day. 153 foot-pounds of torque. Just verify the AC pressures are correct, and we can make sure the AC is blowing cold and everything is operating as it should. Now we have a nice shift boot and shift knob to complete the package. Makes it look like it came that way. And of course, replace the rubbers for the clutch and brake pedal because they do get wore out. Just makes it look a little fresher and makes it look as new as we can. Kind of finishes off the package with something, just a small little piece like this. So now it just looks a whole lot newer. So now it's done. Did a short ram intake so we don't worry about any hydro lock-in, and then of course go everything and clean it, make sure everything looks as nice as we can, make sure everything is checked and double checked. So a quick before and after. Now it looks nice, performs nice. It's about 2.5 times the power, and of course a manual transmission, which is always so much more fun. This is going to be a great setup. I think the customer is going to be in love with this car. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell, you'll be notified when we put up another video. And as always, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and of course, enjoy your cars. I'm John from LHT Performance. Have a great day.